So one of the most sought after landing spots for Deshaun Watson is the Carolina Panthers, and it makes sense, but it doesn't. There's arguments to both sides of this debate, and we're gonna go through that today. But first, I'd like to welcome you to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome today. Talking about Deshaun Watson and why or why not the Panthers may make sense. If you enjoy sports content, news, debate, speculation, make sure you like, subscribe, and put the post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. And let's get right back into the video. So Deshaun Watson, why would he be a great fit in Carolina? So he would be a great fit because you have weapons, you have a defense, and the Panthers have some assets that they can trade for him. They have the salary cap. There's a lot of reasons to think that the Panthers and believe why the Panthers are a great spot for Deshaun Watson. Watson with DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Christian McCaffrey, and then they do have some tight ends, which do have potential, but they're not crazy, but they have potential, which he never had in with the Texans. And then you go to defense. Defense is looking pretty damn good. You got Brian Burns. You got J.C. Horn. You have a lot of people on that defense that are solid players. Derek Brown. Really like that defense. But, if you go to one major flaw with this Carolina team that Deshaun Watson really, really does not want to deal with again, offensive line. Offensive line is arguably the biggest issue with this Panthers team, and this is why I don't think it makes sense for Deshaun Watson. If you go back to a few years ago with the Texans, they had solid weapons, a playmaking defense, pretty good running back, a dynamic running back in Lamar Miller. But what they were missing was the offensive line. And the Panthers, he would be in the same situation. And don't forget, Matt Rhule kind of on the hot seat. His seat is warming up. Does he really want to go to a place where a head coach is on the hot seat? Is Matt Rhule really attractive for Deshaun Watson? The weapons are. Christian McCaffrey is. The defense is. But if you go out and trade for a guy like Deshaun Watson, you're going to use that cap room for Deshaun. You're going to lose some important players, important assets that would help you build the offensive line and then maybe help sustain or kind of replace or replenish the position that you traded for Deshaun Watson. So if you trade and if you trade like a guy like Brian Burns or one of those young defensive stars, one of those offensive stars, you're taken away from why Watson would even want to be here. And on top of that, there's no offensive line. So I really don't think that the Panthers make much sense for Deshaun Watson. When you look at it just quickly, they have the cap, they have weapons, but when you start to dig deeper, you see the head coaches on the hot seat. You see that once they have to trade those assets, once they have to trade some young stars, we just saw what the Broncos had to give up for Russ. It's going to be even more for Watson. So, like 3 or 4 first-round picks and then some players, the Broncos gave up 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a 5th, and a former number 1 overall pick. No, a former first-round pick in Noah Fant, who was a very dynamic tight end for them. I think that was crazy that they traded him away, even though it was for Russ. But then you traded Drew Lock and you traded Shelby Harris. Shelby Harris is great. Drew Lock is what he is. What he is. So it just goes to show how much you're gonna have to trade for him. So if you had to trade 3 or 4 firsts, you wouldn't have a first for a few years. And if you couldn't trade all those, are you going to trade some seconds or thirds, and then it's going to leave you with less assets to give them an offensive line and to replenish some of those positions that you used, that you kind of gave up to get a guy like Deshaun Watson. Watson doesn't want to be in a situation in Carolina. He wants an offensive line. He wants a place where the head coach is not in the hot seat. And you know what? I think the Eagles are a better option than the Panthers, if you ask me. Yeah, they have $10 million less in cap space. A little more than 10. But if you think about it, the Eagles have an offensive line. They have a creative head coach who is not on the hot seat. They have 3 first-round picks from this year. They have a guy in Fletcher Cox who's older that they can trade. They could swap with Jalen Hurts. The Eagles are a much more fitting place for the Texans to get the capital they want, to get the assets they want, to get a young player, to get all the draft picks, and then still be able to build when with years to come. And yeah, he does have a solid offensive line. Weapons aren't as great, and the defense is okay, it's not as great. But I believe the Eagles would be a much better place for Deshaun Watson in the long run. And I don't think it's really necessarily close, because you go and look at the Steelers, they're around the same situation cap-wise as the Panthers. But he doesn't want to go and play. He doesn't want to go play for that offensive line. With that offensive line, he doesn't want to go play for that. He doesn't want. The weapons are solid, yeah, but he wants an offensive line, and they have a good running back, yeah. Defense is okay, yeah, but then they would need to give up some solid positions. They would even need to, who are going to swap a quarterback that they're really going to value the Texans. Oh, Mason Rudolph, maybe a solid vet guy, but actually, more than I think about it, I don't think that Jalen Hurts would be a great fit over in Houston, because I think Davis Mills is a starter. I think Davis Mills needs to be the starter over there. Mills needs time. Mills is extremely talented. He's just raw. Give him time, and he will blossom into a nice starting quarterback. I'm not going to say he's going to be elite. I'm not going to say he's going to be terrible. I'm not going to say he's going to be amazing. I think he's going to be a solid franchise guy. Maybe like a better version of Kirk Cousins, a little bit better than Kirk Cousins. A refined version of Carson Wentz. He knows how to throw the ball away. I'm talking Davis Mills, of course. So maybe they don't need Jalen Hurts. So maybe you'd have to give something else. But still, this Eagles team is a much better place for Deshaun Watson than Carolina. I don't think Carolina is a solid place for him. Yeah, they have the money, but they have no offensive line. They're gonna have to suffice someplace else with the position, or whoever they trade from that position, because it's gonna have to be a solid player or two. So I don't think Carolina is realistic. It is realistic. I don't think the chances are high the more you dig into it. I don't see it. I don't see Watson with the Panthers. I don't think he wants to go there. I wouldn't want to go there if I was him. So, I thank you guys for tuning into the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. And in this video, I talked to you on why I don't think that Deshaun Watson makes sense for the Panthers. I kind of talked about in the beginning of the video why I'm going to give you reasons why he would go and why he wouldn't. I gave you them. There's more reasons why he wouldn't. There's more cons than pros. So he's gonna, he's gonna know that. He's gonna freaking know that. He knows that they have no offensive line. He doesn't see an offensive line guy on the Panthers that is, really gonna be awesome. I think Taylor Moton is there, but I believe he even left. I think he's leaving. But man, so you guys give me your thoughts on this. Where do you think he's going to go? I thank you for tuning into the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. Hope you enjoyed this video. You guys let me know where you think he's going to go. Give me some of your thoughts. Who, is there a team I didn't mention that he can maybe go to? Maybe the Raiders find a way to go for him. Maybe they swap with Derek Carr. Maybe they do something with that. Maybe the Seahawks. The Seahawks are another team. They have the cap space. They have first-round picks. That's another team that is flying under the radar. I also think the Giants are a team that can fly under the radar, but the Giants don't have the cap space. That's the only reason why I'm not mentioning the Giants much. Saints, they're under the cap. I don't see the Patriots. The Patriots can maybe be a wild card. Dolphins could be a team. They have the draft capital and such. So that's it. This is the JDW Sports Talk Show. Make sure you like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on. This is the JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off.